welcome back to Summer Skye Gardens. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys what is currently growing from my kind of winter spring garden into the summer, as well as what I'm going to be transplanting. I have a bunch of seedlings that I've been growing inside, kind of my second round of summer annuals. So I need to get those in the ground. I went through and cleaned up all the beds yesterday, checked on my drip irrigation. I have to replace a couple of parts. This is a great time to do that. But today I'm going to get everything planted. It's a little overcast. It's cool outside. So this is a really good day to do it. So I wanted to kind of just give y'all a quick tour on what all I'm growing. Now, in case you're not on my newsletter or you didn't see it recently, in which case you need to join, and you can do that on my website, on my homepage. We bought a farm and I am so freaking excited about this. It is a property, it's about 20 minutes from our house. We're not moving there. It is going to be a working flower farm. It's in Splendora, which is like Northeast Houston, but it's kind of straight up the highway, very easy to get to. It's something I've been dreaming about doing the last couple of years, and we've talked about it. I've researched it for a long time. I've been looking at the real estate market, which has been kind of crazy this past year, but finally the timing was right, found the right property, the right price, the right place, and we decided to just go ahead and go for it. So we are closing this week. By the time you see this video, the sellers should have moved out and we should be starting to get in and assess everything. But it is about 3.7 acres. It has a small house on it, which I'm going to turn into kind of a office, studio, workshop kind of space. Tons of open area for growing. There's a couple of storage sheds, and it's right on the corner of this really pretty street where some other, really nice houses and stuff are. It feels very, very nice. My goal not only is growing cut flowers for sale, but really to create a space of agritourism where people can come out to the farm. I want to create a big U-pick space where you can come pick your own flowers and maybe eventually other things like pumpkins. I want to create a space of kind of like a natural wildflower space where people can come just experience that part of nature, experience the Texas native plants, as well as take pictures for photography. I want to have workshops and events on the farm. My stepdad plans on keeping bees out there, which he's done before, so we can hold like classes for schools to come visit on bees and beekeeping, on gardening and wildlife. And I just want to create this beautiful space for our community to come visit and enjoy getting out in nature. So it does need some work. I mean, there's been nothing growing per se, other than just like grass and trees. So I am starting from scratch on the ground, but the ground looks really good. It's nice and flat. It already has some setups for irrigation from a well. The house is in really good shape. It just needs some tweaking. It's old. It's from the 70s. So there's a few things I'm going to be doing to that, but really excited to get in there and start working. If I can, I'm going to try to have the U-pick open for the fall. Stay tuned if you're in the Houston area and you want to come visit. I will definitely be announcing that if it's going to happen, but that's kind of my goal for this year. Stay tuned to my YouTube. I'll be kind of filming as much as I can, everything from ripping up carpet to doing a soil test, planting. I mean, anything having to do with this farm. I'm going to try to take pictures and video to share it. I think it's interesting for some people, maybe not, but you can tune in if you want. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me on my Instagram at Summer Skye Gardens. That's probably where you will see more of the day-to-day stuff, but the longer videos on some of the projects we'll be doing will be on my YouTube channel. So super, super excited, and I can't wait to share everything with you guys. So that kind of brings me back to my backyard garden. So this year I had planned on growing all cut flowers, and I'm still doing that. And right now, like I said, I'm transplanting out the last of my summer annuals. Come the fall, I will be kind of turning this back into an edible garden. So growing mostly vegetables, some herbs and fruit. So that way I can grow, you know, food here for my family, and then grow all of my cut flowers at the farm. And I'll still be sharing about that as well on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram, because I love growing everything. Still have the pollinator garden, still have my rose garden out here, and we'll get back into growing a bunch of vegetables. But anyways, enough talking. Let me show you how everything looks right now and what I am fixing to transplant. So here is a general overview of the garden. So over here you have the pollinator garden, and we'll go take some close-up video of that. This is all of the raised beds, as well as I've now accumulated a ton of grow bags and crates. And then my rose garden over here. So coming up to the pollinator garden, so this area just kind of grows really wild. I have some perennial plants like my Carolina jessamine vine, some bee balm, a couple of salvias, various things in here. And then right now you can see there's a ton of wildflowers growing, and those will kind of continue on to the beginning of summer, and then they will die back. So we've got, of course, some Texas bluebonnets. You can see some Indian paintbrush. There's one of my bigger salvia plants. This bee balm here is fixing to bloom, which is very exciting. Some more flowers back here. And then my vine already flowered, so it's kind of just hanging out right now. I have the little bee house, my little bird feeder. I had a bird bath and a raccoon got in it and knocked it over. And you can see along the fence I have a bunch of pots that have various items in them, like this eucalyptus, which I'm just waiting for the time to get into the farm so I can transplant it and it will become a perennial. So let's go over here to the raised beds. So here's a bunch of status that I just didn't have any room for. They're in little pots. They haven't done super awesome. The ones that I've had in the raised bed and the grow bags obviously look great. This is a really pretty purple color. And then this is the bed that I had my snapdragons in stock in. So I came in and ripped all those out yesterday. I've already planted some more lilies. You can see them starting to pop up. Here are my seedlings I need to get in the ground. So some amaranth and celosia, bunch of cress, zinnias, got some basil, some mint, and mahogany splendor hibiscus. So up here in the front we have a couple of dahlias, some status, which is still doing well, some yarrow, which is really pretty. This is like a summer berries variety over there too. And then here, these are some of my chrysanthemums from last year that I overwintered, so they are starting to grow back. And in this bed I have some cress that I had already transplanted. It also had some anemones which I came in and ripped up, so I'm going to put some more of the cress in here. I've got this giant volunteer sunflower that I'm just kind of letting do its thing. This bed was a mix of anemones and ranunculus. They were kind of getting on their last leg anyways, so came in and ripped those out. Had a few zinnias I already planted that are starting to bloom. And I will be putting the rest of the zinnias in here, as well as adding a kind of a trellis netting. This is some basil, and then I'll be putting like some more basil and mint in any of these open grow bags or crates. So this bed is all sunflowers. I planted White Light and White Night, and you can see where one of them, and gosh, I forget which one is which, but One of them had really good germination, the other one not so much. So I'm gonna come in and put some more sunflowers down. That's the good thing about sunflowers is you can just keep planting them week by week. You can see here I planted some gladiolas. This is the first year that I'm growing these, and so far they've all sprouted. The last of my lilies are blooming. So I'm gonna cut these and then rip those out. Kind of same with these. This bed I did gladiolas and then first round of straw flower and gomphrena, and then I have a few more I'm going to put right behind that. The gomphrena is getting close to flowering. Let's see, these crates are all gladiolas except this one is empty, and then this will be another bed of zinnias. Some of them already blooming. I have a basil in the back. And then my rose garden, which is putting out a lot of blooms right now, although I've had a lot of issues with thrips, obviously Japanese beetles. So some of them are looking a little rough. I'm having to come in and spray, but very impressed overall by the amount of flowers that they're putting out in the second year. Of course, the magnolia is blooming and it is super fragrant. You can smell it in the whole backyard. I've got a couple of volunteer rudbeckia that I'm just letting grow. This is one of my favorites, scepter dial. Super pretty. My Peggy Martin climbing rose looked brilliant about a month ago. So some of the initial flush is dying back and we're getting a few more blooms. Over here, my azaleas kind of did their bloom already. And then right here on the end, I added an oak leaf hydrangea. So that's really good. That's one that grows really well in the south, doesn't mind the shade. Put a little bit of yarrow here just to see what would happen. Excuse the trapped raccoon. We're trying to get these guys relocated because they've been digging up in our yard, so he's getting picked up today. And you can see here are all my mums. I ordered a ton of heirloom chrysanthemums, which I will link that video below if you want to see how I'm growing them and what all I'm growing. But these cuttings are doing awesome. These will all get brought out to the farm and they will continue their life cycle in all of these grow bags. So right now I think I'm at 82. I have a few in the front. I'm getting 6 more, and I think that's where I'm gonna stop for now. So I wanted to show y'all real quick. I cut kind of some of the last of my lilies. Aren't those pretty? I grew a few varieties this year and they all did really, really well. So I ordered a whole bunch for next year for the farm. The only kind of crappy thing about lilies, other than they're toxic to pets, so you gotta watch out for that, is the pollen can stain. So what I usually do is I come in and just cut it off. Doesn't look quite as cute, but this way it won't make a giant mess on your table. And they still look pretty. So I'm gonna put these on a vase and put them in my kitchen. All right, so in this bed, I'm gonna be putting some of the amaranth and celosia. I've got my favorite tool to plant seedlings, my kitchen butter knife. I'm gonna scoop them out and lay them in. right, I am done transplanting everything. Dirty fingers. Took me about, I don't know, somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes, so not too bad. I am fixing to put up netting for one of the zinnia beds, so I thought I would show you how I do it. All right, y'all, so I am all done. Thank you for tuning in and watching today's video. Let me go show you real quick how everything looks, where I put everything. It's kind of a hodgepodge just because I'm still letting a few things grow from kind of the winter and spring. But overall, I got all the plants in. They look good. It's starting to rain, which is always nice right when you put in seedlings. And I'm very excited to see what the summer holds for us.